Rolling on there, rolling on there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Grinch. Hey guys, haven't done a talking head video on this channel at all, but I'm excited to do this one. This video is brought to you by DeHancer. They want me to make a video explaining a color grade that I did. They let me try out their software for a month for free, the full version. They're gonna give me the full version once I release this video. All right, so as you can see on my screen, this is Oh Sweet Violet. This is a short film we shot. First thing right off the bat for DeHancer is if you mess with it a bunch, in most timelines, most computers, you're going to have to set the playback resolution to half if you want to be able to view it at regular speed, because it does take a lot of processing power, because they're basically remaking the whole screen with grain if you have the grain on. As you can see here, we have a lot of grain. We got exaggerated colors. We got bloom, halation. There's a lot going on. So if we just kind of scroll through this, we got this dude Dio. He's the main character, right? It's looking consistent all the way through. We got that sign. So there's a very heavy look, very heavy 16 mil look, right? Looking through here, little preview. You can see a lot of the blooming, like here. See all the flares at the top left goes down to the blooming flowers. See all that glow in that grain? So good, dude. Anyway, so that's a little preview of what it looks like. Okay, so how do we pull off the 16mm look using DeHancer? I shot on the Sony ZV-E1. That's what I'm using to film this video. I shot in S-Log3. That's what I'm using to film this video. So I think to understand how we use DeHancer, we got to understand how to use a camera with log. Okay, so DeHancer will work on cameras that don't have log. It's just if you have log, you'll have way more room in post-production for color grading, and I would advise you guys to have that. Okay, so this lens I got for like $10 at Goodwill, and I attached it on the front of one of my kit lenses, so I have a fisheye lens now. So I'm shooting in S-Log right now. All right, and then now this is what it looks like after color space transform. You can throw it on there. This is what it looks like with it on. This is looks like with it off. And then if I want to do a basic grade after that, I can just change exposure and mess with the color temperature or whatever. So yeah, DeHancer has a lot of tools. So if we go back, now that I look better, if we go back to here, the edit, we're going to go to the color tab, and I'm going to explain all this to you guys. Alright, so the node structure in DaVinci, way more complicated than it needs to be. Not really, it's actually very professional. So this first dot, there are two dots. This first dot's for each individual clip on the timeline. The second dot's for the timeline. It's the timeline node. Anything on this changes the entire project, the entire timeline. Okay, so each individual node you can change exposure if you want. I tend to not really mess with them if I don't have to, but if I do have to, I'm messing with exposure, which is in the wheels. This is shadows, midtones, highlights, overall exposure. Okay, so let's just go step by step on what these nodes are. All right, so this is what the raw footage looks like when it comes out. This is what S-Log3 out of my ZV-E1 looks like. It's very flat, very gray. Okay. What you can do is you can either put color space transform on a node, which I did here, but right, so this is color space transform. Okay, so for this one I put color space transform on it, which converts the S-Log, which is what we saw earlier on this, to Rec 709, which is the standard viewing profile. Okay, so this is what it looks like with just Rec 709 conversion, maybe a little bit of color grading, and then this is with DeHancer. So everything changed. So I'm going to go over what DeHancer looks like, and we'll start at the very top. So you just have to select what you want, what the camera or what the software is being fed. So I already converted to Rec 709, and since DeHancer is after that node, we're going to select Rec 709. The input is trying to guess best what type of image is getting fed. Okay, so the film, You can do film emulation. They have a lot of different film stocks. I picked Kodak Gold 200 because I think it looks good outside. It's actually a photography Kodak, but I like it for video. Film developer, that just changes some values that you can use that film normally has. Film compression is, it basically just limits exposure wise what's in your image and tries to make it look more like film, but if you overexpose it a bunch, it looks weird and gray. Expand, just another way to mess with the specific values. Print, so it emulates printing on a certain material. So this is the Kodak print 2383 print film. If I turn that off, you can see the massive difference, right? Look back at the screen, right? I think I can go Shift F. There we go. So see that huge difference in the printing format. You can even see it in the blacks. When Kodak 2383 is on, everything's a little more gray. It's also more contrasty and there's less color. Right? So I picked that because I like it. Saturation all the way up, so I could try and match the amount of saturation in the image from before. Color head is just a way to change color. Don't really mess with that. Film grain is, it rebuilds the image using film grain. So phenomenal, probably some of the best film grain you can get for post-production right now. Halation is when there's a red glow around the highlights. So if we go to like, let's see, if we go to, what's a good example? Good example is in front of the store. You can see it right there even. See how right here there's a huge red glow around that. I'm going to turn it off and on, off, on. You can see it everywhere else in the image too, like on the trunk. There's like an orangish glow. That's what halation is. It's a characteristic look of film. Bloom, it does what it sounds like. It makes the edges bloom. Okay, so that's really good for making your image look softer. So yeah, halation bloom off doesn't look very cool. Halation bloom on does look cool. Looks very filmic. Film damage, just little random specks on the screen that make it look like it was printed on film. I don't use that. You can, but I didn't this time. Film breath is a slight in and out, like cropping very fast every once in a while. That simulates how the film would run through like the scanner. Gate weave, don't know what that is. Overscan is when you basically just run film through a digital scanner, so it's just another way to give it a certain look. So yeah, basically it's actually the format that the film was. So this is Super 35, and you can see that on the screen. And then the vignette is just the darkness around the edges. There's a lot of that in photography, but you can also do it in videography. And then monitor output, LUT generator. You can generate a LUT. You just push export LUT, and it'll save all the settings that you put on your node, and you can make your own LUT. So there's a super quick rundown. We had no idea we were going to do this heavy of a look, and we decided to do the 16mm film look, and it was like super cool. Very glad we did it. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Just write some questions in the comments if you need them. But that was a great project, super fun. If you have any questions about DeHancer, let me know. I have a discount code in the description. I believe it's called Learn, Create, Inspire. You get 10% off DeHancer. It is affiliate link, so I'll get a small commission if you buy through that link. So that would be greatly appreciated. If you want to get DeHancer, click the link in the description. Yeah. That's it for today, guys. Thanks. You'll be seeing more videos from me. I'm going to post my final that I shot for class soon. Hopefully some music videos with the Hather brothers. Working on bigger projects. So, yeah, here we go. Boom.